Good afternoon, Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this COVID-19 and City News Briefing for Friday, September 4th. Today we'll start with our numbers for Forest General, Samurai, Hattiesburg Clinic, Moffitt Health Center, and Merritt Health Wesley. Since March, 53,476 tests for COVID have been conducted. 6,014 of those have come back positive. Of course, those are not all active cases. They're not all in Forest and Lamar counties. 47,085 come back negative. We have 379 tests which are currently pending. In the hospital today, between our two hospitals, 61 people are positive for COVID. That's 9 under where we've been for the last 14 days. Another 11 are under investigation. And of those 61, we have 20 that are in the ICU. These are the most acute patients, with another 2 in the ICU under investigation right now. Since the spike in July, at the very end of the month, we've seen kind of a steady decline. This has been very good for us to see because we're kind of at our lowest numbers since the first part of July, and we hope those trends continue. Some sad news to report. We've had 4 new deaths over the last 2 days, 2 in Forest County, 2 in Lamar County, which brings 14 deaths over the past 7 days. We send our condolences to those families. This is important that these things are vigilant. We just crossed the 100 mark in deaths for our metropolitan area, and so this sickness, this illness, this virus is very real. And we have to continue to do what we have to do to try and protect the vulnerable. Statewide today, we had 823 new cases, 23 new deaths reported. New positive cases for today: Forest County at 16, Lamar County at 23, metro area total was 39. Our 5-day average, this is where we take the number of new positive cases, average it with the 2 days prior and the 2 days after. You see kind of a spike here. That's because we've had 2 days in a row of double-digit numbers. In fact, yesterday's both Forest and Lamar County had over 30 new reported positive cases. We're still sort of sifting through to make sure those were assigned to the right county. But you see the 5-day average get up to around 20 for Forest County, Lamar County's 14 or 15. The inside 14-day number, this is the number of new positive tests that have come back in the last 2 weeks. Because this virus typically has a lifespan of 14 days or fewer, this gives you an indication, a basic estimate on how many active cases you could have in your community. Right now, that number is at 243 for Forest County, and Lamar County is at 175. Both of these are increases. In fact, we'll go to this next chart and show you, since the spike, we kind of have seen a steady decline. The last 2 days have shifted our inside 14-day number to their highest point. In Forest County, it's the highest point since August 20th. In Lamar County, that 175 is actually the highest number since August 17th. So we don't want to get lazy. We need to keep an eye on this because those inside 14 days, both of these affect our goals going forward. And those goals are, well, first I'll show you the inside 14-day comparison. 215 a week ago, 243 today. Lamar County's up 14 from last week as well. So we're back over 418 in terms of inside 14-day numbers, potentially active cases. Hospitalizations, however, have gone down. We're down to 61, down from 70 last Friday, down 3 from last Friday in ICU admissions. We want to make sure that those hospitalizations don't go back up, but higher numbers just by virtue of logic. If you have more people getting sick, chances are you're going to have more people end up in the hospital. And so our goals: protecting vulnerable populations, preventing overrun of the healthcare system, prioritizing public health while giving the private sector the space it needs to operate creatively, all depend on us trying to make sure that we keep those new infection rates down. We know this is Labor Day weekend. This is kind of our big message for today. And we know that every holiday that we've seen since this pandemic, we've seen spikes in the days and weeks after that. Memorial Day, July 4th, and now Labor Day. We hope that we can be smart and make good decisions. We know that we're already starting to see kind of the new infection numbers creep back up, and it can happen very quickly. And we've actually done very well despite some things that have brought people together. For example, it was projected that us starting school back, that was going to produce a lot of new infections. So far, we haven't seen that materialize to the degree that it could. We've seen college students move back on campus. We have seen good results with that because people are being vigilant and they are wearing their mask and they're socially distancing themselves. We know next week that Hattiesburg Public Schools goes back for in-person classes. We know that Southern Miss will start their in-person classes next week for those that are going to be in person. But Labor Day weekend, when people start traveling, people start interacting and doing cookouts and things like that, they produce a lot of opportunities for us to mix and mingle, and we kind of get lazy sometimes with those practices that have kept our numbers low. So I just want to remind you, it's very important that we wear masks. It's very important that we socially distance ourselves. It's very important that we avoid large crowds if we can, because We don't want to see those spikes in the days and weeks following this, because as we saw in July, spikes and escalations can happen very quickly. All right, census update. We have 27 days left before the end of the census. Our response rate is up to 55.7%. That's a good number, but we want to see that number get up to 56% at the end of the weekend. So HattiesburgCounts.com, if you have not filled out your census, and while you're at it, go ahead and drop a post on your Facebook or your Instagram encouraging your neighbors to go to HattiesburgCounts.com and fill out their census form. City news. Tonight is the 99th meeting between the Hattiesburg High Tigers and the Laurel Tornadoes. This is probably the best high school football rivalry game in the state of Mississippi, and it's one of the most storied and rich in tradition. This morning I sent a memo to Laurel Mayor Johnny McGee asking him to disinfect the Little Brown Jug. They've had it for the last year, of course, after we had it for the last 5 years. We've asked him to clean that thing thoroughly because we don't want any new strains of COVID coming into our community, because we know that when the final whistle blows, Hattiesburg High is going to be victorious tonight. And so I know that capacity is limited, so I encourage you that if you're from the Hattiesburg side, you can listen at 92.7. You can also watch a paid broadcast. This paid service is helping our high school make up for the revenue loss of having limited capacity in the stadium. But HattiesburgTigers.com has a one-game pass that you can buy to watch the game live. I think it's like $6.99. But do that and support our Tigers and our schools. But again, we hope that for the folks who are coming from Laurel, that we will show them great hospitality. We will also show them a very good game, and we hope that our Tigers come out victorious and bring the jug back to 39401. All right, our act of courage today. Our recruit class. We have a Fire Academy class right now that just finished the halfway point. This is class 2001. They have done a lot of physical things in terms of training, but they've also passed a lot of really hard tests. The hazmat test probably being the toughest one. The Fire Academy is a very grueling process, as is our Police Academy. And so these are the men who are going to be protecting us going forward, and the fact that they made it to the halfway point, these 8 individuals, it bodes well for them going through the rest of the academy. So we send them all our best. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers and encourage them as they finish the academy up. As we go into the weekend, remember to wash your hands, take care of yourself, wear a mask if you go out in public, do only what is essential, remember you're safer at home. Have a great holiday weekend, and please be safe.